The kinder you are, the more she will disrespect you, not because you're a bad person, but because you made one mistake. You gave your value away for free. You tried to love her into respecting you. You traded honesty for approval. You lowered your standards hoping she'd notice. You made kindness your identity. And now she ignores you. You've been told being nice is enough, but no one told you it would cost you your respect. Comment, never beg again, because this video will shift the way you see women, dating, and yourself forever. Number 1. She respects what she fears losing. Respect doesn't come from how much you do for her. It comes from how rare your energy is. And right now, your energy is everywhere, like free samples in a grocery store, and she treats you like it too. Because when you're constantly available, constantly reaching out, constantly showing how good you are at being there for her, she stops seeing the value in it, not because she's evil or broken, but because she's wired to respond to what demands her effort. And right now, you demand nothing. You're just there hoping your loyalty will open a door that has no handle from your side. And that's the truth. You don't need her to change. You need to stop being afraid of changing yourself. Because the version of you that thinks giving more will solve everything is the version she's tired of. It's the version that apologizes too much, forgives too quickly, and bends too often. And she doesn't look at that and think what a strong person. She looks at it and thinks, how much can I get away with? How much more can I push before he breaks? And when she finds out the answer is he never breaks, she stops respecting you altogether. She doesn't fear losing you because you never show her what losing you actually looks like. You threaten to leave, but you stay. You get angry, but never act. You set boundaries and then fold. And that's why she doesn't take you seriously. She knows you're more committed to her comfort than your self-worth, and that kills attraction. She wants to know that if she crosses a line, she loses you, not because you're cold, but because you have standards, not because you're heartless, but because you have self-respect. And if you're always making excuses for her behavior, if you're always saying, she didn't mean it, or she's just stressed, or maybe I misunderstood, you're not being kind, you're betraying yourself. And every time you do that, she watches and she learns. And what she learns is, this man values me more than he values himself. And that's when the switch flips. She stops being drawn to you. She starts testing you. She starts treating you with casual disregard because she knows you'll tolerate it. And you will, because you believe that love means staying through disrespect. That's not love, that's fear. And fear never commands respect. If you want to flip this dynamic, you need to disappear. Not ghost her, not manipulate her, but become unavailable for situations that dishonor your standards, and that means saying no. And meaning it. That means walking away without making a speech. That means living a life where her opinion doesn't direct your decisions. You don't chase. You don't prove. You don't perform. You stand. And if she chooses to stay, she stays because she respects your strength, not because you begged her into feeling guilty for her behavior. And let's be clear, this isn't about punishing her. It's about training yourself to stop rewarding what hurts you. And that means when you notice a shift in her attitude, a change in her tone, a delay in her replies, a coldness in her energy, you don't respond by overcompensating. You lean back, you recalibrate, you evaluate, and if what you're receiving is not aligned with your worth, you withdraw your presence fully and calmly. No dramatics, no accusations, no breakdowns, because silence from a person of value is louder than shouting from someone with none. And that's where power is. It's not in controlling her, it's in controlling yourself. And that control isn't loud, it's steady. It's the man who doesn't need her to validate his identity because he's already living with purpose outside her attention. And that's the part that most people don't get. She doesn't respect the man who centers his whole world around her. She respects the man who has a world she's trying to be a part of. And if your life is built around making her happy, fixing her problems and anticipating her moods. You're not her equal, you're her employee. And employees don't get intimacy, they get instructions. You want to change that. You have to stop being afraid of being misunderstood. Stop trying to explain your value. Show it, live it, and let her figure it out on her own, because the more you explain why you're good, the less good you look. Value doesn't argue. Value doesn't chase value, attracts. And right now, if you're not being respected, you're not being valuable, not because you're not enough, but because you've given too much to someone who didn't have to earn it. Pull it back, not to punish, but to protect, not to prove a point, but to return to your position of power. Because when she realizes you're not begging, not breaking, not folding, not reacting, she will recalibrate. And if she doesn't, that's your answer. She was never for you, because the one who respects you respects your space. And if she only values you when she's losing you, she never really valued you at all. And once you see that, once you feel that everything changes, you stop chasing and start choosing. You stop waiting and start walking. You stop explaining and start enforcing. And in that moment, she doesn't just see a nice guy. She sees a man with presence, with peace, with power. And that's when respect is reborn. Not in what you say, but in what you no longer tolerate. Not in what you do, but in what you don't repeat. You are not here to convince her you're worth loving. You're here to become someone so aligned, so self-assured, that the right one recognizes you without you having to shout for attention. And to get there, you need to go silent when disrespected. You need to disappear from dynamics that drain you. You need to build a life that is too full to shrink for someone who refuses to grow. And when you do that, when you stop explaining your value and start embodying it, she will either rise to meet you or fall behind. Either way you win, because now she doesn't just like you, she respects you, and that respect is built on one thing: the fear of losing what she knows she'll never find again. And that's when respect is reborn. Not in what you say, but in what you no longer tolerate. Not in what you do, but in what you don't repeat. You are not here to convince her you're worth loving. You're here to become someone so aligned, so self-assured, that the right one recognizes you without you having to shout for attention. And if you're ready to become that man, the man who no longer chases validation, but lives by unshakable standards, then the Stoic relationship blueprint was written for you. A timeless guide built on the exact principles you felt speak to you in this video, now available in audiobook form, so you can take this transformation with you on every walk, every drive, every quiet moment of clarity. It's not just a book, it's a blueprint, a reset button for every man who's tired of giving too much and receiving too little. And the best part is, once it's yours forever. Lifetime access to the truths they never taught you about power, presence, and peace in relationships. The link is in the comments. Get it, own it. Number 2, let her earn your kindness. Let her earn your kindness, because if you don't, she will assume it's cheap. She will treat it like background noise, like elevator music, something that's just always there, never changing, never surprising, never earned. And because of that, she won't appreciate it, she won't value it, and worst of all, she won't respect it. And that's what most men get wrong. They think being kind from the start, being endlessly supportive, being available at every moment, will buy them closeness, will make her see them as different, will make her love deeper. But what it really does is tell her that your approval is too easy, your effort is automatic, and your presence requires no effort from her. And what's given without effort is discarded without regret. And if you've ever been the guy who texts first, every day, plans every date, forgives every mistake, shows up no matter how you're treated, then you've felt this pain. You felt the cold shift when she stops being excited to hear from you, when she delays her responses, when she cancels plans without guilt, when she rolls her eyes at your compliments, and you sit there wondering what went wrong. thinking maybe you weren't kind enough. Maybe you didn't try hard enough. But the truth is, you tried too soon and you gave too much before she showed you anything. And now your value is invisible because you trained her to see your kindness as expected. And now you're trapped in this loop of giving more, hoping she'll see you, hoping she'll remember how good you are, hoping she'll finally choose you. But hope without standards is not strength, it's self-abandonment. And the longer you stay in that loop, the more she pulls away. Not because she's evil, but because humans don't value what's free. And you made yourself free. You gave your emotional energy, your time, your affection, your words, your plans, your heart, without asking for anything back. And when someone doesn't have to work for what they get, they don't protect it. And when someone feels no risk in losing you, they don't hold you tight. And if right now you feel like you're being taken for granted, if you feel like you're always the one trying, always the one waiting, always the one adjusting, it's not just because of her. It's because of what you allowed and what you taught her about how to treat you. And here's the shift you need to make. Stop seeing kindness as your only tool. Stop believing that being soft is your way, and stop trying to heal someone who hasn't earned your presence. Start seeing your energy as valuable, as rare, as limited. And treat it like gold, not tap water that flows for everyone. Start watching how she shows up before you show up. Stop initiating every conversation. Stop being the first to apologize every time. Stop offering help before she asks, and instead sit back and observe. Does she make effort when you don't? Does she initiate when you go silent? Does she invest when you don't push? And if she doesn't, that's your answer. That's not someone who values you, that's someone who uses you. And no amount of kindness will change that. But if she starts leaning in, if she starts asking, if she starts missing your presence, then you're seeing genuine interest. Not interest built on what you provide, but on who you are. And that's where real connection begins, not when you force it, not when you build it alone, but when both people are moving toward each other, when both people are putting skin in the game. And to get to that point, you have to be willing to pull back, not to manipulate, but to measure, not to punish, but to protect, not to play games, but to give space for truth to show itself. Because when you're always moving toward her, she never has to choose you, she just receives you. And comfort is not the same as love. Routine is not the same as desire. If she's only there because you're always there, that's not a relationship, that's convenience. And the truth is, if you let her earn your kindness, you'll see who really wants you. Because those who want you won't need constant gifts to stay. They won't need endless effort to feel close. They'll want you because of you, not because of what you do. And the way to build that is by stepping back, by doing less, by giving space and letting your absence do the talking. Because sometimes your presence speaks too loud. Sometimes she needs to feel what it's like when you don't show up, when you don't text first, when you don't chase. And if she notices and cares, she'll respond. And if she doesn't, then you know your kindness was never appreciated. It was just consumed. And once you know that you're free to stop overgiving, free to stop begging for love with effort, free to give your energy to those who reflect it back. Because love isn't earned by doing the most. It's discovered in mutual value, mutual pursuit, mutual respect. And you can't get that by pouring endlessly into someone who only brings an empty cup. So from now on, watch actions, not words match energy, not desperation, pull back. Not because you're scared, but because you're strong enough to wait for what's real. And in doing so, you transform your kindness from something forgettable into something powerful, into something respected, into something she works for. And when she has to work for it, she holds it tighter. And when she holds it tighter, she sees it clearer. And when she sees it clearer, she finally sees you, not the version of you trying to earn love, but the version of you who knows his value and only shares it with those who prove they deserve it. Number 3. Kindness without strength is weak. Kindness without strength is not noble, it is not admirable, and it is not respected. It is tolerated, used, overlooked, and eventually despised. Because when you give everything but stand for nothing, when you offer comfort but have no standards, when you sacrifice yourself for someone who doesn't even ask you to, you are not being kind, you are being weak, and weakness disguised as love is the fastest way to lose all respect from the person you are trying to hold on to. And if you've been in this position where you're constantly doing more, giving more, trying harder, hoping that your effort will one day turn into appreciation, you know exactly how it feels to be invisible. And the reason is simple: when your kindness is not grounded in strength, it feels like begging, and begging is never attractive. And she sees it clearly even if you don't, when you apologize for things that weren't your fault, when you agree just to keep the peace, when you let things slide that bother you, when you avoid setting boundaries out of fear of pushing her away. You're not being nice, you're betraying your own sense of value, and every time you betray yourself, you lose a piece of her respect. Not because she's cruel, but because you taught her through your actions that your love is conditional on her approval, and conditional love isn't respected, it's pitied. And if she pities you, she cannot desire you. And this is the mistake so many people make. They confuse submission with loyalty. They think that by being endlessly agreeable, they will be chosen. But the truth is, being agreeable to avoid rejection is manipulation. You're trying to control the outcome by silencing your voice, and a silenced voice is never heard. And if you are not heard, you cannot be respected. Strength is not about volume. It's about conviction. It's about knowing what you will not tolerate and standing on that. No matter how beautiful, how charming, or how special someone is, because your value is not up for negotiation. And when you truly believe that your kindness transforms from weakness into power, and that power is not in how loud you speak, but in how little you bend. And bending becomes a habit when you associate peace with compliance. But compliance is not peace. It is self-erasure. And when you erase yourself, you give her no one to love, because the real you disappears behind the version you think she wants. And the tragedy is, she might stay, but she stays with a version of you that doesn't exist. And eventually she'll leave, because that version feels hollow, empty, and too easy, and deep down, you'll know she didn't reject you. She rejected the mask you wore trying to earn her affection. And it's time to take off that mask to face the world and her, as you are, with boundaries, with standards, with backbone. Because when you do that, you stop attracting those who want control and start drawing those who want connection. And that connection is built on truth. And truth is only possible when you show up fully, not just as a giver but as a decider, someone who chooses when to give, not because they need to, but because they want to. And the power is in the want, not the need. And to reach that point, you have to confront the parts of you that are terrified of being alone, terrified of not being chosen, terrified of saying no, because those fears are the reason you've accepted less. Those fears are the reason you keep quiet when you should speak. And speaking doesn't mean attacking, it means expressing. And when you express yourself with clarity, with certainty, with calm, she listens. And if she doesn't, she was never listening in the first place. And now you see the truth. You see that every time you've tolerated disrespect, it wasn't because you were kind. It was because you were scared. Scared that saying something would cost you the relationship, but not saying something cost you more. It cost you your peace, your dignity, your self-respect. And now it's time to take that back by realizing that real kindness is measured not by how much you give, but by how much you honor yourself while giving. And if what you give is destroying you, it's not kindness, it's submission. And if she only stays when you submit, she doesn't love you, she uses you. And you're not here to be used, you're here to be seen, respected, and chosen for who you are, not for what you give away to feel needed. And when you reach that level of clarity, your entire energy changes. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop explaining and start expecting, and the people who don't rise to meet that expectation will fall away and let them. Because your peace is not worth the company of someone who only values you when you have no spine. You are not a doormat. You are not a tool. You are not a backup plan. And you prove that not by yelling, but by walking away from anything that insults your value. Without warning, without noise, just silence and distance. And in that silence, you find your power. In that distance, you find your clarity. And when you return as someone who doesn't need to beg, because they never left themselves behind to begin with. And that is what she respects. Not the man who gives endlessly, but the one who knows when to stop. Not the man who tolerates everything, but the one who chooses what's allowed. Not the man who stays no matter what, but the one who stays only when he's treated right. And when you become that person, the way people see you changes. She looks at you with new eyes, not because you've changed, but because you've revealed the part of you that you kept hidden, the part that won't trade dignity for approval, the part that would rather be alone than be used. And that's the part that finally gets what you always wanted. Not validation, but value. Not attention, but affection. Not games, but respect. And it all starts when your kindness stops coming from fear and starts flowing from strength. Number 4, you teach her to treat you badly. You teach her to treat you badly every time you allow behavior that doesn't match what you claim to stand for. Every time you bite your tongue when something crosses your boundary, every time you stay after she disrespects you, every time you explain away her coldness, her indifference, her lack of effort with excuses you wouldn't accept from anyone else, because the truth is, no one can disrespect you without your permission, and every time you allow it, you silently sign off on it. And she watches, she listens, and she learns, not through your words, but through your reactions, or your lack of them. And if she sees that you say one thing and accept another, she doesn't believe your words, she believes your actions, and your actions scream that you're too scared to lose her to demand better, too afraid to walk away to ever be taken seriously, and she adjusts accordingly. She no longer tries. She no longer respects. She no longer fears losing you because she knows you won't leave. She knows that no matter what she does or says, you'll stay, and you'll find a way to blame yourself for circumstances or timing, instead of confronting the truth that you've been the one allowing it. And it hurts, because deep down you want to believe that if you just love harder, if you just give more, if you just stay longer, she'll finally change. But that belief is what's killing your self-worth. That hope is what's making you easy to manipulate, because hope without standards isn't strength, it's desperation. And desperation is never respected, never admired, and never rewarded. And she knows it. She feels it. She sees it in your eyes when you tell her you're tired of being ignored, but still call the next day, when you say you need more effort, but still do everything for her, when you finally say you're done, but show up the moment she texts. And what that teaches her is that your emotions are cheap, your words are empty, and your presence is guaranteed. And when your presence is guaranteed, she doesn't need to earn it anymore. She stops valuing it and starts testing it more, not out of malice, but because she's human, and humans test limits when they know there are none. She pushes you, not because she hates you, but because she doesn't believe you. She wants to know if there's any part of you that actually stands for something, or if it's all performance, all noise, all talk. And the more she sees you fold, the more she confirms what she suspected all along, that you're more committed to keeping her than keeping your self-respect. And that realization doesn't make her feel lucky. It makes her feel burdened, because now she holds the power. Now she decides how much love and attention you get. Now she controls the emotional temperature of the relationship, and you're just reacting, trying to do the right thing, trying to fix what's broken by doing more and more of what's never worked, hoping that one day it finally does, but it doesn't, and it never will. Because the problem isn't what you're doing, it's what you're allowing, and you allowed it by not leaving when the standard was broken, by not pulling back when the energy shifted, by not confronting when your gut told you something was off, and now you feel confused, you feel bitter, you feel exhausted because love was never supposed to feel like a job, and yet you're clocking in every day without getting paid. And the worst part is you did this to yourself, and the only way out is to teach her something new, not through words, not through tears, not through arguments, but through silence, through absence, through action, by stepping back, by cutting access, by going where you're respected, not where you're needed, by letting your standards speak louder than your mouth, by showing that once the line is crossed, the game is over. And when you do that, everything changes. She either adjusts or exits. She either rises or removes herself. And both outcomes are a win for you, because now you're no longer negotiating with someone who never saw your value. You're no longer begging someone to remember how good you've been. You're no longer fighting to stay in a space that only shrinks you. And in that moment, you start to rebuild, piece by piece, habit by habit, moment by moment, and it starts small. You stop replying to energy that feels dry. You stop showing up for someone who doesn't ask how you're doing. You stop tolerating jokes that come at your expense. You stop engaging with people who see your kindness as weakness, and you start living in alignment, not for attention, not for approval, not for someone else's comfort, but for your peace, your clarity, your respect. And people will notice. Some will be shocked. Some will accuse you of changing. Some will guilt you for growing. And that's okay. Let them, because the only people who lose you when you evolve are the ones who were benefiting from your lack of boundaries, and when they fall away, better energy replaces them. Energy that respects that values, that gives back, and not because you begged for it, but because you made space for it by finally closing the door on everything that drained you. Because teaching her how to treat you is not about telling her how to love you. It's about showing her how you love yourself. And if your actions say, "I'll stay no matter what," then don't be surprised when she treats you like you're nothing, because you told her that you were, and now it's time to rewrite that story, not with promises, not with explanations, not with desperate pleas, but with behavior, with stillness, with distance, with the kind of presence that doesn't chase, that doesn't beg, that doesn't fold under pressure. And when she sees that, when she feels that, when she realizes that the person who once gave her everything is now giving to himself, that's when the power shifts. That's when she understands that respect is not something you ask for, it's something you create and protect. And if she wants access, she'll have to earn it, not because you're playing games, but because you're finally playing for real. Number 5, mystery creates desire. When someone has full access to you without having to earn it, without having to show consistency, without having to invest anything of themselves, they stop being curious. And when curiosity dies, so does attraction, because attraction doesn't thrive in comfort. It grows in uncertainty, in the space between what's known and what's imagined. And the moment you start giving someone constant answers, constant validation, constant check-ins, you give them a sense of control that kills desire, because now you're predictable, now you're emotionally obvious, now you're always around. And when you're always around, you stop being noticed, and what's not noticed is never missed. And this is what happens to so many people, especially those who lead with kindness, with openness, with full vulnerability too soon. They hand over all their thoughts, all their emotions, all their intentions, thinking it shows honesty, thinking it builds connection, but all it really does is remove any sense of discovery, and what people don't have to discover, they don't value, And this isn't a game. It's not about withholding who you are to manipulate. It's about recognizing that connection must be earned, not assumed. And when you meet someone who gives you nothing to figure out, nothing to unpack, nothing to uncover, your brain turns off, your emotional engagement drops, and eventually so does your interest. And this is where most relationships fail in the beginning. One person overinvests, shows all their cards, reveals every weakness, every insecurity, every intention, and hopes that it leads to closeness. But it doesn't. It leads to imbalance. It leads to emotional laziness from the other side. Because why try? Why chase? Why pursue? When everything is already handed over. And if you've ever felt like you were doing too much, giving too much, opening up too quickly, and then found yourself ghosted, ignored, or slowly pushed away, it's not always because you weren't good enough. It's because there was no challenge, no mystery, no depth left to explore. And humans crave what they can't fully grasp, not because they're cruel, but because they're wired to pursue, and pursuit dies when there's nothing to reach for. And that's the trap of being too emotionally available too early. And the answer isn't becoming cold or distant, it's becoming intentional. It's learning when to speak and when to listen, when to share and when to stay silent, when to offer your thoughts and when to let them wander. And that wondering is powerful. It builds curiosity, it builds desire, it builds emotional investment. Because now they're thinking about you when you're not around, they're imagining what you're doing, they're reflecting on your words, they're trying to figure you out. And in that space between knowing and not knowing, you become valuable, not because you're withholding, but because you're not oversharing. And the most attractive people in the world aren't the ones who tell you everything. They're the ones who give you just enough to want more. They're not mysterious on purpose. They're just full of purpose and too focused to be constantly explaining themselves. And that's the energy you need to cultivate. Not to chase approval, but to build respect. And when people respect your emotional boundaries, your availability, your time, they naturally become more intentional in how they approach you. They stop taking you for granted. They stop expecting you to always be there. They start measuring their actions because they know your presence isn't guaranteed. And this changes everything: the way they text you, the way they plan with you, the way they speak to you. And all of that starts with how you carry yourself when no one is watching it. Starts with how you choose to stop explaining where you are, what you're doing, why you didn't reply right away, and start showing that your life doesn't revolve around anyone's expectations. And if someone can't handle that, they were never really interested in you. They were interested in the version of you that was obsessed with proving your worth. And that version isn't real. That version is exhausting and unappreciated and forgotten because people remember how you made them feel. And they only feel something strong when there's presence with purpose. And purpose doesn't chase purpose, doesn't beg purpose, doesn't try to be loved. It just is. And it's that energy that makes someone wonder about you long after the conversation ends. It's that energy that makes someone want to know what drives you, what excites you, what scares you. And you don't need to offer it all up front because the right ones will stay long enough to find out, and the wrong ones will leave early. And that's the point. Let them walk away. Let them feel confused. Let them wonder. Because the ones who need constant access to feel secure were never secure in the first place. And your job isn't to make someone feel safe at your own expense. Your job is to live in such alignment with your truth that anyone who enters your life has to earn the right to stay by matching that energy, not by demanding you lower it. And every time you hold back from over-explaining, from oversharing, from over-giving, you're not being cold, you're being centered. And that center is what makes you powerful. It's what keeps you from being manipulated. It's what helps you stay grounded when others are inconsistent, and in that grounded energy, you become more than just another option. You become the one they remember, the one they regret losing, the one they talk about and wonder about and miss. Not because you played games, but because you had depth, because you had direction, because you didn't show up looking to be chosen. You showed up knowing that you were the chooser, and when you live like that, everything shifts. Conversations become richer, boundaries become firmer, connections become clearer, and relationships become something that adds to your life, not something that defines it. And if someone doesn't see that, if they push for more before they earn it, if they demand constant reassurance, if they disappear the moment you stop feeding their ego, then they were never there for you. They were there for your energy. And when your energy stopped flowing, their attention did too. And that's the greatest lesson you can learn. You don't need to give all of yourself to be loved. You just need to stop giving to people who haven't earned the right to receive. And when you do that, when you become unavailable to anything that doesn't feel aligned, you become the type of person who doesn't get left behind. You become the one they write about, the one they chase, the one they realize too late they couldn't replace because you never gave too much too soon, and in doing less, you became everything. If you're tired of being the man who gives everything and gets nothing, the man who's praised for his kindness but punished for his loyalty, then it's time to wake up, because the world isn't going to hand you respect. You have to command it, and the Stoic Relationship Blueprint will show you how. This isn't just an ebook, it's the truth society hopes you never discover. The mindset they've tried to bury under years of lies about what good men should be. And now it's available in audiobook format so you can listen while walking, working, or finally reclaiming your identity. It's linked in the comments, and once it's yours forever. Truth on repeat whenever you need it. Comment, never again. If you're ready to reclaim your power, like this video to help one more man wake up before it's too late, and subscribe so we keep exposing what no one else will.